Here still at New York Comic Con, having a blasty blast with my man Future Man.
We're here.
And this is a bigot. We've got a whole slew of awesome people to help us celebrate 10 years of the DCU animated series life that's been going on. I can't believe it's been 10 years. You guys just constantly at work pumping out awesome animated features. So what is it like for you guys having, it's a decade of DC animated goodness. How do you keep it fresh? How do you keep it fun? How do you keep it fan-favorited and loved by so many people?
Don't look at me.
Bruce, no answer.
He got the ball rolling, so.
What's that?
I said, you got the ball rolling, so.
Yeah, way back when. Yeah, I did like the first, I don't remember how many. I know James and I were trying to figure out that before we came out here, how many each of us have done. But it's about half and half.
Yeah. Only you had, 7 years to do yours, and I had 3 or something.
Something like that.
Yeah. It's just basically trying to give the fans what they want, tap into what the comics are doing, evolving with the comics, and also bringing the classic stories that haven't been adapted into this format. So it's just keeping your ear to the ground and listening and being aware of what's going on in comics these days. So, yeah.
Have you guys, is this something that when you were kids, you were reading comics and fans of these growing up, and it's just now you make it a part of your everyday life, and how does that feel to just sort of be fans of it, and now to be on the other side and be a part of creating it and spreading so much joy to so many people for such a long time, and here we are with this
just hanging out with Batman and Wonder Woman, just a day in the life.
It feels good.
Yeah,
feels good.
Yeah, I think most of us were fans, and most of us grew up reading comics. And like anybody, I'll have a bad day where something doesn't go right incredibly, and then I have to think, well, if I could go back in time and talk to 14-year-old Jim and say, well, it was a hard day. You talked about Batman all day long, and then you came home and your dog came up, and he'd say, "You have a dog? And you talk about Batman all day?
Yeah.
Your life is
perfect.
perfect."
It's pretty good, right?
So it keeps things in perspective.
Yeah, and this collection right here spans a pretty long time. We've got all of your favorite superheroes here. Is there anything, like what are all of the contents that you have in here in this box? You were showing me a little bit.
It's all of the movies. It's all of the featurettes. It's all of the wonderful little shorts that we did with the Spectre and Jonah Hex and Catwoman and Green Arrow. Like I said, it's got all the behind the scenes stuff. This
is the live unboxing
yeah, exactly.
right now.
Yeah, he's our hand model.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Can I unbox?
Jim is our hand model.
Unbox.
You want to unbox?
Box away.
Because it's the real
Well,
thing.
there we go. Look at that.
It's a lot of times they just put styrofoam in the box, but the real thing is actually in the box. So
Not a prop.
this is the first time I'm looking at it. It's pretty cool. The discs are. So maybe they took the discs out.
Okay.
Because they knew I would sell them. I would sell them like one after another.
No, this is looking incredible. What was the process of making this a reality? Is this something that has been planned for a while? You guys knew at 10 years we're gonna have something, or did one of you guys all of a sudden think, well, maybe we should make a collector's edition of this? We've done some cool stuff here.
James, go ahead.
Did they know about it?
It's a nice round number. It's 30 and
It's as simple as
discs
that.
and 10 years. So
how much? Tell us a little bit about picking and choosing. Obviously, when you're talking about something like the DC universe, there are so many characters that people love, but some characters that people might not be familiar with. How do you go about choosing which characters are going to deserve their own animated feature or short, and tell that story to please the fans that do appreciate those characters?
The big challenge for us has to go outside of Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman, because those are the characters that get the most attention. So especially, I know James feels the same way. Whenever we do a Justice League movie, we try to focus on other characters besides Batman and Superman and Wonder Woman, so that characters like Aquaman can get a moment in the sun. A character like Aquaman is not going to get their own movie, chances are. So, but we want to service some of those deeper bench DC characters. So
you don't need to do that. I just said you don't need to do that.
No, I hate to tell you, but people say, oh, there's too much Batman. People complain all the time there's too much Batman. But you know what? Batman's the most popular character for a good reason. So, you know, Batman ain't going away.
Or Wonder Woman.
So don't worry.
Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman. Yeah, I don't know that there ever is too much Batman, though. Let's take a poll. How many people think there's too much Batman? Never.
Too much Batman.
Right?
There's
One
a
guy.
few.
One guy.
The only dude. All right. Anyway, I think your job security's, I think we're good. Yeah.
And having so many different, I mean, now the universe expanding outside of the animated series as well. How do you take those characters and make them your own?
Dig deep. Hope
Dig
for the
deeper.
best.
Well, you know, you don't really make them your own. You try to make them true to the character, true to the comic book, you know. And you find the kernel of truth about the character that will appeal to a broad base of people, but stay true to the character. So
And yeah, if I was
There's
Batman.
there's got to be a lot of feedback from the fans. How do you balance listening to the fans' feedback and incorporating? Maybe there's some good ideas, maybe some not so good ideas, and how much do you listen to the fans versus being like, okay, we also feel like we have a pretty good idea of where we want to take these characters and where we want to see it going forward?
That's a really good question. I can only speak for myself, but I do read a lot of fan reactions, but I try not to do like knee-jerk reactions to it and go, oh, they didn't like this, so I won't do that again. Because you always have to kind of keep in mind that whether it's Amazon reviews or somebody on some website, they don't necessarily represent everybody. So if we get like a really bad review somewhere, it doesn't necessarily mean that everybody hates it. So it's a juggling act, you know. It's like we have to kind of ultimately just kind of rely on our own instincts on terms of, you know, what we think people want.
It's a real challenge
Yeah.
because with most TV shows, if you watch a NCIS, maybe 1% of the audience goes online and says, I liked it, I didn't like it. And with our audience, I think it may be 1 per 1. I think every single person who buys it and watches it writes a very, very long review and then gives alternate things of what they would have wanted to see. But it's very difficult. It's challenging because we're all sensitive artists, and
Oh yeah, no, you can read like 10 really great reviews and then there's one negative review and it ruins your whole day.
you know, they hated it. You know, you get. You know what I've also learned is, like, if people like it, they go, "That was good."
And then that's it.
But
and
if
then it ends there.
yeah,
They'll
it's
talk
like
about it, but they
it's
don't
like-
go online to
or
rave
like,
about
or
it.
thumbs up or star. But you know, but if you didn't like it, here's my 17-paragraph diatribe about why it's bad and the people who made it must therefore also be bad and should be eliminated from the world. You know.
You gotta love the internet.
Creative.
Yeah.
Being a creative
We
person.
love our fans.
And so where can people find out more about the 5-star collection that is this 10th anniversary collection set you have?
Where can they find out more about it? They would find out about it on dc.com, and I think, and
Probably.
it is available right now for digital download. I memorized this, and it will be available on November 7th in this beautiful in this physical form. You
And it'll come with the
you
disc.
would own this. This is like the QVC.
We promise it will have discs.
Portion of this, like I'm a QVC model. Like I'm the Vanna. It's like, look at this. Look at the beautiful plumage. You know. Oh my
Awesome.
gosh, it's in full color. You thought it was going to be black and white, but look at this, color.
Well, you guys, thank you so much for coming up and sharing a little bit of that 10-year history of the DC animated universe. I'm going to pick up the box set. That's what I want, so I'm coming for you in November.
fuck
Just
that,
wait.
yeah.
You can get it digitally now, and you can get more of us here at New York Comic Con right after this.